resource as well.
Yeah, everyone has it.
So I just picked one of my projects. I've done many this year, but this is the one that I think I'm the most proud of, and it was so collaborative. It started as a resource for my colleagues, but it really has ended up being my own personal journey as well as a journey for the district in a lot of ways. So it's called Indigenous Music Through the Seasonal Round. We chose the seasonal round as part of our title because we feel that our school year also tends to fit into those the same seasons. And so when teachers are looking for resources, they found it very good to have it tied in with the season. So the songs that we put into the resource, we tried to figure out where they would fit best. And then teachers have something for every season when they're teaching. The picture that you'll see of the front cover with the loon on it, that was created by a grade 6 student. It was a contest, and we have another contest coming up for our secondary piece of it. So it's nice to have a local artist, young artist, that was paid for her work, an honorarium. Matea Schwinnard from Glenview. She's now in grade 8. You'll see 2 featured artists on that front page. So when we started this project, the first thing I did was go to Jen Pagan and say, do you have any suggestions for me of who would be musicians that might want to be included on the project? And the 2 names she gave me to start was Kim Gucci and Francois Prince. And I can't think of 2 better people to start with. They were both fully invested. And if you read their quotes, you can see how much passion they had for the project. So if we advance to the next slide, for those of you that have the photo, that is the team that presented at the last Pro D together. So
I'm trying.
You're trying?
I'm trying.
So the resource was created in response to a group of teachers who were unsure about how to include authentic Indigenous music and teachings in their classrooms. So we were already a team. We were working on a different project together. We finished that project. And one of the people in the group said, you know, I'd really like to weave Indigenous music into all my teaching, but I'm not even sure where to start. And I don't even know if the songs were already singing, like for the music specialists, they were really concerned if it was still appropriate to sing or if anybody had vetted it. So that's how it all started. And we thought, oh, this should be pretty easy. We'll just, you know, put a few things together. And here we are, you know, 3 years later, and it's still a living, breathing document that continues to be added onto. When Kim came to our first meeting to gift us some of her music to use, she was just enthralled with the whole thing. And she said right away, I want to be part of the team. I don't want to just be an artist. I want to be in on the decision making. So she came to quite a few of our meetings as well. The resource, if you get a chance to look at it, and I've put the link at the bottom there, it includes about 14 songs right now, and we've got 9 more waiting to be added. Each song has either a video with it or audio. So for Francois, he already had his songs on CDs, so they were already recorded professionally. So he was able to just give us the audio recordings for those. And for Kim, she actually created videos to go with some of her songs. Then we added in the Castan drummers, and they did a video recording for us as well. We've added in Russell Wallace from the Lil'wat Nation, and his were already video recordings that were on YouTube. And we're just keep adding and adding and adding as we go. So the teachers don't have to know how to sing the song. That was the greatest fear of the classroom teacher, was I want to include it, but I don't feel comfortable yet to sing it myself. So this way they get the authentic voice of the person who created the song or was given permission to sing it. They can watch it, they can listen to it. And then once they get where they're comfortable, they can start singing along. And I had the joy of hearing some grade 1-2 students this afternoon singing one of Guy's songs in their classroom and moving around like eagles. So that made my heart happy. With each song, we have the story behind the song. So how they created it, or the purpose behind it, or what it links to in the culture. With every song, we also have connections. And this was we have connections to the Zaka dictionary for the words. So if the teachers are teaching the lessons and they're unsure about the translation, they can just click on it, go straight to the dictionary, and gives them at least 3 ways of saying the word. A number of the lessons, there's a number of lessons for each song. So under each song, 4 or 5 lessons. And obviously some correspond with music content, but we also have science content, place-based education, drama, dance, and visual arts. So the teacher can, like some of these are music specialists that are using this resource. So they would go to the music content in their classroom, but the classroom teachers can go in and maybe they just want to play the game with their students, or maybe they want to tie it into their science lesson, or maybe they want to tie it in with a visual arts. We've got ideas for bulletin boards and all sorts of things. And every time we recommend something in the lesson plan that has a template attached or a video attached that we want them to watch, the link is right there. They just click on it. It goes straight to that template. It's already made for them. They just have to print it out. So for the Castan drummers, they did the animal song, and we have mask templates for the kids. They can just print them out, and the kids can wear the masks and they can dance with the song. The lyrics and printables are there for all the activities. So we always have a lyric page that they can print out. There's connections to books and videos. So I brought a couple here. We have the Salmon Song by Francois, and then we connect it to the Salmon Run book by Clayton Gauthier, who's also local author. And then on the Eagle story, we have one of Guy's books, the Eagle Feather story that goes with that. With one of the other songs, we have Ishi's Drum, which also comes out of Fort St. James. So we're trying to tie in with local authors as well, if possible. It's accessible to all school district 57 employees. So we find now that a lot of the IEWs are also using the resource in their rooms or in their schools. And the rural areas, that's the part I'm probably most proud of, is going to Mackenzie and going into a classroom there and all the kids know how to sing a song. And Kim Gucci's been doing some presentations in the school. I know the other day she was at Acole College Heights Elementary, walked into the gym, started singing one of her songs, and the whole gym sang along. So she said she was pretty emotional about that. So it's very cool. And then my last slide is what's next. So currently I'm just waiting. We did some drumming videos with Clayton Gauthier out right beside the river. It was a beautiful day. There was a sundog around the sun. It was just gorgeous. And John Russell did some filming. So Clayton did 4 short videos, one on the protocols and permissions, one on making of the drum, one on the reason behind the drum and how it ties into culture. And then he did some different drum beats that teachers can use in their classroom, like a call and response. So he would drum, then the kids would drum back and forth. So hopefully the schools that have created class sets of drums now can use them and find out all the protocols behind them. So that is in the works right now. We've asked Araya and Zoe Spooner if they would hopefully add some of their songs in. So there's 3 songs we're hoping to add in the fall from them. Russell Wallace, who's Lillooet Song or the Salmon Song, he's from Lillooet or Lillooet Nation, and he's been very generous in gifting us his music to use as well. So we're hoping he's got audio available for that so we can use that song. The tribe called Red, which is now called Hallucination, has one called Electric Powwow, and it's really fast-paced and really a cool sounding song. The kids really love it, so we're hoping to add that in. Kim Gucci has a few new ones she wants to add. Welcome to the Claytley Keo, which would be a nice welcome song for assemblies and for schools, and also her Daketh number song. And Francois, we've just added in the owl song, the Lahal song, which comes with the Lahal game and all the instructions behind that, as well as the Women's Power song. And one of our team members, Krista Radway, who is the band teacher at Shasti Kelly Road, some of her students sang and played O Canada with the English, French, and Daketh version. So we're hoping to add that in as well. We're just waiting for parent permissions on that one. And then this year we've been mostly working on phase 2, which is our secondary content. So we're going to lay it out a little differently. It won't be through seasonal rounds. It will be under subject area because the high schools work differently. So if it's an English teacher or a social studies teacher or a music teacher, they can go under the theme instead of the season. So Highway of Tears, the Red Dress Campaign, the 60 Scoop, Perceptions and Racism, residential schools, and we will have a number of songs and different things there for them in the resource that they can use. We're also adding on band arrangements for some of the songs for the high school bands and choral suggestions for people that are teaching choir that can use some of these songs for choral. And we've connected with, and I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Banui Jinan, which is out of the East, but they create dance and music videos. They go into Indigenous communities and they take what's important to that community and they create songs out of it. And they use the people that are there to create the videos. So it's mostly students and they can rap, they could play violin, they can drum, whatever they're comfortable with. And they create the song and they do a professional production of that song. So we picked the ones that were produced in BC. One that was produced in Takla, one from Kamloops talking about residential schools. There's one from Prince Rupert area. There's one from Bella Coola. And we're going to include those in our high school one because some of the content's just a little more mature, but it's good, really good for discussion starters in the high school. And lastly, Mob Bounce, which is out of Morristown. And Snotty Nose Res Kids, which I believe is Rupert. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Kitimat? Yeah, so we're just in talks with them right now, trying to get permission to use some of their songs as well. And I'm hoping the Snotty Nose Res Kids, if you got to see them when they were here the last time at Vanier Hall, they talked a lot about career and about how they got to where they are. And as an artist, how long it took them to get where they are. So I would really love to add that in as well for our career piece of it. Get them to actually do like a interview. In the fall, my plan is to go to all the staff meetings in the district and do the same kind of presentation. I'm finding that we're reaching a lot of people, but there's still a lot of people that don't know anything about it. And it's sad to me because there's been so much put into it. And like Monica said, you know, getting the contracts written and the payments and the honorariums and connecting with Jen and connecting with Pam. And it was a dual learning team grant, which in its own was a lot of paperwork and a lot of different moving parts. I'd really love to see it utilized even more than it is now. So that's one of my plans. Continuing Pro-D, I had a few teachers that said what they would love to see is a seasonal Pro-D just for this project, where they could come for an hour and we could go through the games and activities and songs just for that season. And then they can bring it back to their classrooms. So I'm hoping to do that in the fall as well, get that started. I'm constantly doing lesson demos in classrooms, which I love. And now we start to share our resource outside the district. So Jen and I and Guy all traveled down to Victoria and did a presentation at UVic. And it was quite successful once we got going. The tech was a bit of a nightmare, but other than that, and I have to tell you my full circle moment, because I ended up presenting in the actual classroom that I took my music course in 35 years ago. Oh. So it was very cool for me to walk in there and be able to do that. Wow. And we've had so much good feedback from other districts asking if we could help guide them to do the same thing for their district. So I think that's super exciting. And I just got word from the BC Music Educators Association. They would like us to come down to Vancouver for the provincial Pro-D and do a presentation for them as well. So things are moving, things are happening. And in the words of Guy Prince, it's a dream come true. It's, yeah, very exciting. So do you have any questions or anything? Yeah. I get a little passionate.
I had heard personally that, and I just talked to you briefly before we started this meeting, that there were really great things happening with fine arts and what you're doing. I never knew the scope until then. It's just incredible what has been accomplished just in the past year.
Breathtaking.
Yeah, congratulations to you and your team.
Yeah, it's a great team.
It's great,
Wow.
really good work. And once again, and you're right, sharing with other districts, once again, this recurring theme that there are a lot of things that the entire province is saying, hey, we want to do that too. So you're leading with one respects. It's wonderful.
And I just want to shout out to my team because I didn't say it at the beginning and I was going to, but I know a lot of you have connections in the district. So the initial team when we started was Claire Samisia from Montessori, Mariah Franzman, who's at Vanway right now, myself and Patricia London, who's an Indigenous ed worker. And she's the lady that goes around drumming to all the schools. You've probably seen her, she's amazing. And then recently, Becky Dockstader from Springwood and Krista Radway from Shasta Kelly Road. And Jen's been a huge part of the team as well as Kim has as well. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you.